Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are looking at part 2 of this little guy. So it does look a little bit different to the end of part 1. All I've done is just a bit of boring work of taking off the edges, and there was that big shark bite out of the side. I finally got through that. That took a while. And then I've shaped it up a little bit. I'm a little disappointed with a few things, but I'll get into those when we wet it. The back I've also taken out and flattened a little bit, but overall it's a pretty rough and rugged looking shape still. And this is what it looks like dry, so you can see here that I got a really nice pattern eventually. So just going deeper and deeper to those little wavy lines that we could see on the edge until the pattern started showing through on the face. So it doesn't look overly impressive dry, so we'll give it a quick dunk. And it still doesn't look overly impressive. It's not an ultra fine piece of jewellery or anything like that, but it is a serviceable stone. It looks pretty cool. It's got some nice bright flashes in some areas. All in all, pretty cool looking for something a beginner would come across in a fairly cheap parcel. It's got some really bright patches of colour. There's this nice clump in the middle there of opal, but yeah, you just move it around, you get flashes of purple and blue all over the face. The bottom edge is pretty cool down here as well. One of the things I'm pretty disappointed with is this sandy patch. So if we look right up close, you can see that it literally is that grainy kind of sandy look. This camera's actually doing surprisingly well on this. So that little bar of sand across there, I don't really want to grind into it too much further. I mean, I could, this is still really thick, but yeah, it just keeps sitting there. I think it goes fairly deep in. There is some colour underneath it, but I don't really want to get rid of this pattern. And I'm actually starting to like that little sandy bar across it. It just adds a little bit of character to the stone, and it's all about character when it comes to this kind of boulder. So yeah, the back, nothing special. A couple patches of colour starting to come through, but all in all, it's not going to be a piece that's designed to be showing the front and back. And yeah, just shaped it up to be a fairly even looking pear shape. Hold it upside down, that's what it looks like. But yeah, all in all, we're ready to get into the pre-polishing stage. So there are these little pits which you can see really easily when they're dry. We want to minimize these. A lot of people actually just put resin into the surface and just kind of fill in those patches and then go through and start doing the polishing part. I'm going to try to avoid that for now. I don't like doing it in general. I think it's, I don't know, if the piece is really needing it, then I guess you can, but I don't mind having a little hole in there if it's just a cheap piece. So we'll just get this one prepared for some wire weaving. Wire wrap pendants, take 2. So yeah, we're going to move on to the Nova tips, and we're going to just grind away and try not to reintroduce any of these pits that the diamond bit kind of caused. You go a little bit softer and it kind of holds together a lot better. But you know the drill, we're basically going to go through each of the Nova tips, black, brown, grey, pink, and well, I guess they call it rose. And yeah, we'll see what the surface looks like at the end of that. And we might even go all the way through with a serum oxide polish or something on this piece, depending on how it goes. It might end up having to be a part 3. So let's get right into it. Just went through and hit it with the Nova tips, and this is basically it at a pre-polished stage. I actually won't go and attack it with the cerium just because it does have a lot of pores, and because I'm going to scuff this up because I have plans on making this my... because it's not a really high quality piece. I'm making this my sacrificial opal, and I'm going to subject it to a whole range of wire wrapping. Because I like this pear drop kind of shape, and I've seen a lot of wire wrapping that uses this kind of shape, and they can do some amazing stuff with it. Of course I can't. When I try to wire wrap something that's a teardrop shape or pear-shaped or whatever, we end up with something like this. But I reckon this one is going to be my new experimental piece, and I'm going to wrap this in 100 different ways. This will be my practice one. I just like the shape. It's not perfectly symmetrical, so that means I'll have to get a little bit inventive when it comes to shaping the wire wrapping and stuff. I think I'll learn a lot using this as my main piece. But if I turn on the second light for a little bit of shadow reduction, we'll just have a quick look at this piece. So this stayed here the entire time, and you'll notice these little white specks. They're not inclusions, that's actually my fault. I went a little bit hard with some of the Nova tips, and some of the resin that they use in those Nova tips can get kind of embedded in some of the little pores, and because Boulder Opal's pretty porous, it happens quite a bit. I don't really like to use the Nova tips on a lower quality piece of Boulder Opal because those pores really do kind of take chunks out of it. It's not too bad, but you know, the Nova tips aren't cheap, and you kind of don't want to ruin them on poor material. But I did like this piece, and it was a lot of fun to get it carved up into the shape. And yeah, I've decided that it's the perfect piece to subject to all of the torture that I'll try to subject it to with all my wire wrapping. So this will be it. Part 2, it gives you the right idea on how to tackle your Boulder Opal if you're gonna attack it with a rotary tool. And yeah, it was a bit of fun. It's pretty good. I like that I'm back into Australian opal for a while. I will go back to the Ethiopian and Indonesian opal at some point, but I mean, I really want to get back to doing a little bit of Boulder. The next piece I think will be Cooper White. I've got a couple pieces here that I wanna have a go at on camera. The next one's going to be pretty interesting, so I've already got that one booked in. But yeah, this will appear many times in the channel from here on. I'm gonna ruin any kind of pre-polish I've put on it. This is it dry, by the way. If I do wet it, we can actually have a look at a bit more of the colour, but it doesn't make a lot of difference now that it's at a pre-polish stage. It really just reflects the light even more, and you can see my LEDs sitting there. So yeah, not very exciting piece, but we'll see it a lot. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of wire wrapping stuff, following a lot of Yvonne's stuff. People have suggested this Viking style wire wrapping, which I've had a quick look at, and that stuff actually looks within my realm of skill. And so I think I will start doing that with this piece. Maybe that'll be my next video, I'm not sure. I do find it a lot of fun, but I'm really bad at it. So we're going to change that. And if you guys have any suggestions on things that you want to see, by all means, always chuck them on. Send me a message through Facebook or whatever. I'm always willing to listen and have a chat. I've probably actually slowed down my video production because I'm spending so much time chatting with people, so it's a double-edged sword, but you know, the community side of this channel is way more important to me than me just sitting here carving opal and throwing videos out there. So yeah, by all means, keep interacting, keep distracting me from my opal carving, and I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. See you in the next one.